Hello gamers and welcome to today's YouTube video. We're going to be taking a look at the RHM Panzerwagen played by Darkninja. He also streams on Twitch and YouTube. He makes great guides that you can check out that help you with your World of Tanks journey. So please check out the pinned links down below and check him out. He is a very good player. He's going to be playing the RHM Panzerwagen today. And I know many of you have asked me throughout the Onslaught season, like, why is the RHM picked so much? Why just the RHM? Why not the T100? Why not the Manti? Well, the RHM is not very small. It's a big chonker, but what it does have is a gun that is usable. Also high base view range, and with the highest base view range of, I think, 420 meters. And let's take a look there what Darkninja did. Why did he fire? Well, why did he fire? Is that he was making a spotting check. He was checking where the light tank could be if he was potentially in the bushes. But he figures out I'm not spotted, so, you know, nothing to worry about. Makes another spotting check, the light's not in the middle, and he gets 1,900 assists out of the Yak Panther, just like that. I mean, that's free. That's amazing. That's absolutely free for Darkninja. He's going to be very happy with that, to reach these kind of, you know, assist levels. And that's what you get out of having a platoon mate or two. And on light tanks, it is warranted and it is even recommended to have platoon mates, because it's always cool to have at least one person aiming at your spotting and shooting them. But yeah, back on track on the RHM compared to the other tanks. It's a lot bigger, but it has the gun. Let's go over it again. So it has APCR, heat, and HE. Darkninja needs to work on its driving a little bit. So 320 alpha. It used to be 360, but in return, I think they buffed other gun stats. And then the heat with 280 is very good. Bit slow, and then the HE with 120 as well. And this is another reason to why it is so good in Onslaught. Because in Onslaught, batshots are picked, other lights are picked, and the HE on this tank will chew through them. In a 1v1, the RHM doesn't lose against anybody. I think like a straight 1v1, it kills everybody, but HE, it kills them even quicker. The only light it struggles against is, you guessed it right, the EBR, even in Onslaught, because the EBR is, that was a beautiful shot, actually. That's risky, but a very beautiful shot. Because the EBR is the kind of tank that, well, you know, goes in and out of spot and doesn't have to take a DPM fight against RHM. But you can see Dark is just kind of moving around, trying to find position to play, but there's really nothing to do at this moment in time for the RHM Panzerwagen. And, you know, he's spotting some tanks left and right, but in Studzianki, and the way this plays out, if your team is challenging C-line, A-line, and JK-line, like his team is doing right now, there is not really an opening where the light can be too useful. You could go to the church where his platoon mates are sitting right now and spot from there towards the JK line yourself and try and outspot an enemy, which I think would have been a potential here for Dark, but he opted not to do that. He's moving around the bushes, gets spotted out, and it makes you wonder who spotted him here, because that looks like he got spotted on the crossing, like between the two houses. That might potentially be the light tank of the enemy team. And guess what? It is the light tank of the enemy team, and he does take a shot from that as well. So he now knows that the T100 is in that location. The FV of his platoon peeks out, tries to blast, doesn't hit anything. But the game continues. The K91 gets spotted. Dark waiting, shoots, and scores another shot. And so far, you could argue that this is not the world's most impressive replay whatsoever. I mean, sure, he's gotten some damage, he's gotten some assist, but I mean, let's be real, it's nothing out of the ordinary just yet. Little bit of info for you guys as well. When you play this position here, where this Hori is, the only way that it works, like when this I7 is that close, unless you have really high base camo, is to use this little bush in the middle here, to combine with those bushes to be double bushed. When you're using only one bush, he's too close and he will spot you. When you use the middle bush, he will not do that. Dark, in the meantime, gets a good shot against the I7, lets off some blinds, needs to be careful with the ammo, however, because 20 shells left is 6k potential, but more than 6k, 7.2k, 7.4, no, 6.4k. Math is hard, guys, math is hard. So the only downside here on the RHM that it does have a good gun, but you can run out of ammo. Spots out the pattern. This is an aggressive move from Dark. Has to be careful. Takes one from the Udes. I'm not sure about this one. The pattern does get tracked. The artillery tracking the path, and then Dark finishing off the kill. That's going to be a nasty situation if he ended up in proxy spot here, because once you're behind this building and you're proxy spotted, you cannot really run away. Once you do, you get shot from the factory area. But in Dark's case, nothing happening. The I-7 though from the enemy team seems to be cleaning house in the south, and his platoon mates are just left with an STI in really bad positions. This Tiger Mouse is normally not a shot that Darkninja should go for. He aims at the TS-60. He has heat loaded, so he needs to lead a little bit. That is maybe a little bit too little leading because of that heat only having 900 meters a second. You could say that should be a little bit more to the right, but that's nitpicking. He does still hit the shot. But the TS-60 has committed in a position where he could be really, really annoying to Darkninja. The moment that Dark gets spotted in this part of the map, he will be shot by the TS-60. That's why you cannot stay here for too long, because the moment the enemy team takes the south and has the position where the TS-60 is, once you get spotted, you end up getting blasted. I love being a fortune teller, I promise you. It's the best thing about it. So Dark now moving to a risky position. If there was somebody in the base, he could have been in a lot of trouble, but luckily for him, no such thing happening. Now though, his platoon mate in the E6 has died. His platoon mate in the FV is also in trouble. The I-7 is dying. Or the STI is dying, I mean. The I-7 of the enemy team has cleaned up this side of the map rather effectively. And because of that, Dark is now left in a situation where those platoon mates doesn't get a shot on the bad shot. Oh no, that's behind the church, tries for it, but needs to be careful with ammo. Again, so far, nothing too impressive, and 7 minutes have passed. He's played his light tank. He's gotten 5k combined, but it hasn't been the show that we would expect from a capable player like Darkninja, who is one of the better players on the North American server. Again, like I said, do check him out. He's a very good player. He releases a lot of guides as well, more in-depth content that might be good for you. So he's moving towards the 09 bushes, and this is the best part for Darkninja. This is the best thing he could do, and especially because the enemy T100 has died, leaving him with kind of a free game. But Dark so far already displaying a really good game of spotting, but not just spotting. The thing that a lot of light tank players overlook and fail at is, that's a beautiful shot, is not just being a spotter, but sometimes you also have to be a damage dealer. In this scenario, you have nobody aiming. You are the TD. You are the sniper. You have to spot, you have to shoot, and you have to make sure you don't get caught out in the meantime. And that, I think, is a quality that not too many light tank players have. All this while maintaining overview and awareness and being able to move around this area without being spotted. Dark does a good job at it though. Gets a few shots out already. Makes the T30 a one-shot. Looks for the lower plate. Doesn't pen. That's an annoying angle on the I-7, but if he hits it, he will pen it because, you know, that heat pen is just that good. But overall, this battle not looking that good for Darkninja. Finds another shot on the I-7. Drops him towards a one-shot. He should kill him on the next one. If he can find the shot, the T30 falling. And the UDAS is pushing the T55A. Dark immediately switches to HE because the UDAS 03 is a very little armored tank. And the UDAS 03 is pushing towards Darkninja by the looks of things. He doesn't find the shot right now, but the track shot comes out from the T55A right before he dies, making Darkninja not get proxy spotted and Yardi to finish it off. Making definitely not get proxy spotted. The low roll on the I-7 puts him on 1 HP. And now it's 10 to 12. And it's not looking good for Dark. Ammo is not looking good either. The VKB coming. The VKB, though, a bit of a snack. Beautiful aim. Side of the turret of the VK. If it's not angled towards you, it is very weak on the sides. An old German heavy that is just a little bit of freebie. But now we run into an issue, though, for the RHM. Let's look at the ammos that are left in this scenario. 6 APCR, 5 HEs. What are the enemy tanks? Tiger Mouse, IS-7, VKB, and a Jagdpanzer, and an E4. All tanks that have relative armor, with some of the, like the German ones, having very annoying armor. Luckily, the IS-7 is a one-shot to HE. Perakolobanovs is on the menu if Dark is able to find all 5. Finds another kill. Beautiful shot there on the IS-7 with HE. Just what you want to do. And now you can see Dark is doing another really good job in the light tank. He knows the enemy know where he is on the 0 line. They're going to be playing around him still being on 0 line. Dark is in the meantime, though, however, escaping through the south. By killing the IS-7, the escape route has opened throughout this part of the map, and he will be finding the VK, loading HE here. Could pen this with 120 meters of pen, but he doesn't. But the fire tick of 71 drops the VK towards a one-shot. That is what you want to see from that. HE setting a guy on fire without penning. Beautiful. Not something that should happen, but for Dark, it's a very good thing to happen. There's the Jagdpanzer though. You're not penning that with APCR from this distance, that lower plate on an angle. It's not happening. So Dark will be readjusting, taking more space in the south. He just has to be careful where the E4 has gone, because of course the E4 not the most unmobile tank in the game. Dark still keeping track of the Jagdpanzer. I think the Jagdpanzer is in trouble here because he has his side turned towards Dark, who finds the shot, the kill. Great movement, great escape across the south side of the map. Now he's looking towards the VKB. He spots the VKB as well. The VKB is angling towards Dark though. Good awareness from that man. Although he's turning side third, could have been an option there, but waits, gets the side, gets the kill as well. Slight high roll, compensating there for the I7 low rolls from before. Spots out the E4, lets the shot go. Ricochet now only has 3 APCRs left. That is very important to take into account. Only 3 APCRs left, so not enough to kill everybody here. You can decap this from the left-hand side or the top if you want to. However, I think the left side, where the bushes, where Darkninja is going right now, is simply better. Knocking over the trees, however, I'm not fully agreeing with that. I don't think this is needed in this position. Gives them an opportunity to realize where you're coming from. Gives a shot to the Tiger Mouse. And the Tiger Mouse, unlike the Jagdpanzer, does not have such a formidable lower plate. Dark is able to pen this simply because, you know, it's a Tiger Mouse. The lower plate is pretty weak. The Tiger Mouse, however, does a really good job at readjusting behind the wreck. Dark shouldn't take this shot. The E4 lets off a blind. But Dark, again, using his light, using his mobility, doesn't stay there for too long. Knows that time is constantly going to tick. Is going to be moving towards the other side to peek the Tiger Mouse from a different angle. The E4, ready? No. But turns rather quickly. And it seems the E4 might just be the imposter after all. But now we see the issue though for Darkninja. He only has HE shells left. Now, do you want to add a note? The HE is 420 alpha. So he could reset and then kill him with double pen. But that is really banking on a lot of luck. So, Dark is moving towards the wide part of the map again to make sure he stays on the distance and not get spotted by the E4. Can he find the shot? He actually finds the shot and pens it as well. But he gets spotted out in return. The E4 snapping the shot though. Not sure why he would ever snap the shot there in this scenario. I'm not even surprised the E4 managed to spot Darkninja there. He has 2 HE shells now, but an opportunity for a Fadence even. He's gonna take the shot. 83, needs to pen on the last one. So for Dark, it's all onto the last shell here. Can he find the E4 or will the E4 walk away? With only 2 minutes left, the cap started. Dark has again all the power, all the potential of that light tank, which is almost undefeatable in a 1v1 scenario. And to go towards the south side of the map, and he sees the E4, but you know, maybe in a different world he would take the shot, but in this scenario he cannot, he will not, with only 1 shot remaining. Can he find the kill? On towards E4 again, good movement. Looks, waits, he's really taking his time here, but doesn't want to miss this shot. Gets it as well, picks it up. What a game, what a beautiful game from Darkninja. Absolutely stunning result. 6.9k visual, 4.4k assist. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Incredibly well played. Now, when we take a look at the post-game stats, it comes to see that Dark has 7.5k damage, making this one of the best RHM Panzerwagen replays in terms of damage ever to be seen. 4.4k assist as well, a Fadence, a Kolobanos, a Top Gun, a High Caliber, and a Defender. Absolutely stellar performance from Dark, and I think this replay was a really good show of how to use your light tank to not only spot, but also deal damage, and using its maneuverability and its firepower in your favor and carrying his team across the finish line. Again, pin Darkninja's links below. Check him out. He has a lot of good stuff on YouTube as well. Puts a lot of time and effort into that. I hope you guys enjoyed this replay, and I'll see you guys all on the very next one. Thank you very much. Peace, peace.